Hey, welcome back to another edition of the Coyote Corner video blog alongside Jay Elsen. I'm Alex Heinert talking some USD Coyote football. And Jay, for this blog, kind of another week, another tough result for the Coyotes. They fall 44-29 here at home to Western Illinois, dropping down to 2-8 on the season, 0-6 in conference. But again, another performance where they were in the contest, tied at 23 at the half. Just too many big plays in the end for Western Illinois that made this a little more of a lopsided result in the end. But again, a lot of positives to assess the Coyotes' performance this last Saturday.
Well, I think in the first half, you look at what stands out is the fact that this team got down 14-0 within 9 minutes of the game, and you thought, even in the booth, you're thinking, oh boy, I don't know if this is going to, come out very pretty. But credit to them, they showed a lot of resiliency, showed some character, showed some heart, battled back, ended up taking the lead. They scored 20 straight points. 3 consecutive scoring drives, touchdown drives, which we have not seen a lot of out of this offense. And so that was one thing that really stood out to me was just how they fought back and didn't roll over and quit. And that's a good thing for any team, especially a team that's in their position and gone through as many trying times as the Coyotes have here over the last month and a half or so. So I liked what I saw there. I liked what I saw out of Eric Schuford, a guy that came in leading the team in receiving, and had his best day of the year. 8 catches, 99 yards, and a touchdown. He was very good and really showed a lot of playmaking ability for this team. So that was another thing that I liked. But overall, just the momentum swings were so significant in this game. They went both directions, but the last one went to Western Illinois, and once that was on that turnover in the third quarter, and once they punched that in for that touchdown, Coyotes just couldn't catch up from there. So overall, yes, you're right. A lot of things to pull out of this one, like at Youngstown the week before, that were positive. Just not enough positive to get the win in the end. Yeah,
defensively giving up 5 touchdown passes through the air. A couple of key fourth down conversions that Western Illinois was able to take and turn into points right away. Just thin margins, and maybe this is a different result.
Yeah, absolutely. But that's been, again, the story. It's just one play here or one tackle here or what have you. That's been the thing with this team. It's just they haven't had that play or that thing go right for them at the right time. And so when you're down on your luck and when things aren't going your way, those things tend to go the opposite direction, and that was certainly again the case on Saturday. And credit to Western Illinois. I think everybody, at least within our building, understood that this team was much better than that 3-6 mark, 1-4 in conference play that they brought in here on Saturday, and they showed it. They showed a very explosive offense. They had a lot of weapons. Trent Norvell was fantastic. He spread it around the field, found all of those different weapons at different times. 5 touchdown passes to 5 different receivers. So, I mean, that's just a guy that's seeing the field really well and delivering good passes. I mean, because he was on the money. The Coyotes slowed him down for a while, but eventually, again, he fed off of that spark again off the turnover to start the third quarter. He got rolling himself again, and he kind of never looked back. So Western Illinois deserves a lion's share of the credit for what happened here on Saturday. Make no mistake about that. But the Coyotes just, can't help but feel a little deflated once again because 23-23 at half, you're feeling pretty good about it. You got to stop to start the third quarter, and then one thing happens, and the snowball gets rolling again. Yeah, well, moving ahead, now they have another home game coming up this Saturday, a 1 o'clock kick against another very good ranked opponents. Illinois State comes in 8-1 on the season, 5-1 in conference. That's another, again, a loaded Redbird team. And what's unfortunate for the Yotes, they might not have a couple of key guys in that fixture. Talk about that, those injuries that we saw on Saturday. As if the loss wasn't difficult enough to swallow, they lost a couple more running backs. And their status as of right now is still a bit up in the air. Jasper Sanders left the game with a toe injury. I talked to him afterwards. He said it was turf toe. And sounds like since then that injury has swollen up pretty good where they can't really do some of the testing they probably want to do because there's just too much swelling. So they don't really know what's going on in there. Jasper, after the game, just to go show you how tough he is, he said, I'll be all right. Yeah. So he's pretty confident that he'll go, but we'll see. Medical staffs have a funny way of going against that decision sometimes. So Jordan Roberts was the other one, the second running back of the day to go down on that fumble. He took a helmet right to the wrist. Joe Glenn thought maybe he had actually injured it a little earlier in the game, but that, whatever it was, that seemed to finish it off because Jordan left the field, actually went to the training room, got things looked at. He was back out on the field after the game, still dressed and everything, but he didn't carry the football again the rest of the day. And so you throw those two guys in with the injury already that we saw a couple weeks back to Trevor Bama, and this position that was so deep to start the season. There was no question, if you looked at one personnel group, running back was the strongest on this football team. Well, just like toward the end of last year when Bama and Roberts got dinged up, that stable's getting a little empty now. And Corey Kilgore is the only man left standing at this point, at least the guy that's going to come in as close to 100% as anybody, certainly within that group. So Corey got some carries on Saturday, and I thought he did a very respectable job. He had a 46-yard run in the second half and showed that he can play, which is, guys that have been around the program and have seen him carry in practice knew that he could, but he hasn't gotten a lot of touches during the regular season, so people outside haven't really gotten a look at 12 yet, and they had to have been pretty pleased with what they saw. That being said, he's got to be the guy now, the every down guy, and that's something he's not done at the collegiate level. And so that's something to pay attention to. The other thing to pay attention to is who's going to follow him if something were to happen. Well, it sounds like Drew Potter, the fullback, might get some touches to spell Corey Kilgore a little bit. And we've seen Drew catch some passes. Yeah. We have not seen Drew run the football. And so he was a running back in high school. He's got a fair amount of speed for the guy as big as he is. And so Joe Glenn's confident that if they need him and they call upon him, he'll be able to step up and tote the rock a little bit. And so that's something, again, just because we're not used to seeing it, that's going to be interesting if and when that situation presents itself.
Yeah, you don't usually see at this point in the season, again, guys doing things they've not been doing all year long, but that might be the case coming up against Illinois State. And as if you've got enough things to worry about. This is a very good Redbird team. And they've, if you look at their schedule, a little up and down. I mean, they beat South Dakota State 45-10 early in the season, but then only beat Western Illinois and Indiana State by a combined 5 points. They've not played North Dakota State, and they won't. They finish up with Southern Illinois next week, but with all that said, they're a top 10 team in the country and a tough test to handle for the
They're explosive. I mean, you thought Western Illinois was explosive. Wait till you see Saturday what this Redbird team is going to bring to Vermilion, because they've got playmakers all over the field. Trey Roberson, their quarterback, is a transfer from Indiana, started some games as a freshman at Indiana. That's how good of a player he is. And all he's done is come in and take over this offense and lead it to a whole nother level. It's a true dual threat guy. And the Coyotes have seen a couple of those this year, but there's only been one that could compare, and that guy plays for Oregon,
right?
Marcus Mariota. And I don't mean to compare Roberson and Mariota, but that's the kind of player he is. He can hurt you both ways. He's thrown for over 1,600 yards. He's run for over 500 yards, 22 total touchdowns on the year against just 9 interceptions for him. And then he's got a great running back behind him. Marshawn Koprick actually leads the Missouri Valley Football Conference in rushing yards per game, better than Zach Zenner at South Dakota State by about 5 yards. He's over 1,300 for the year. He's about 6 per carry, 17 touchdowns. That puts him first in the league in scoring. So he's dangerous. And then in the pass game, there's a couple wide receivers, Neblett and Cameron Meredith, that have both caught some touchdowns and have about 30 catches apiece. And then they've got a pretty good tight end in O'Shaughnessy as well that gets into the end zone as well. So everywhere you turn, someone can hurt you. But that's going to remind people of what Western Illinois brought to the table, because we saw Trenton Norvell had High C. Scott. He had Lance Lenore. He had J.C. Baker. Devin Moore had a big day as well in the running game for them. So similar in a lot of ways. And coincidentally, those two teams got into a shootout in Macomb. And this Redbird team needed a 24-point fourth quarter to beat Western Illinois on their home field. They did it at the buzzer with a field goal, but it just goes to show you those two offenses are pretty well on pace with one another.
Yeah, it will be an exciting football game on Saturday. A senior day atmosphere here in Dakota. Then a 1 o'clock kick. Jay, you'll obviously be here, as will I. Should be a lot of fun. Again, follow Jay for game updates at Elsen Midco SN. Last one here in the Dome this year. A little bittersweet for these seniors, but a great chance to go out, prove a point to finish the season.
Why not? I mean, you've got nothing to lose, obviously, at this point, and you've proven that you can play with pretty well everybody. And even in a loss that got away from you against North Dakota State for a while, you hung around in that game. And this one was one that you were right there at the half, and just kind of again, one thing that lets a game get away from you. Take away that one thing, and who knows? We'll see what happens.
Yeah, it should be fun. 1 o'clock this Saturday. Hey, for Jay, I'm Alex. Thanks for watching.